Hello, my friends. So, if today's date, July the 7th, is your birth date, this is a reading for you for this year. This is a four-card pull, a general energy card for the year, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to keep in balance this year, and an outcome card. Is there some kind of mile marker or milepost that you can, or some kind of understanding that you can come to about what was the reason for this whole year, what was the impetus around this whole year? So, the general energy card of this year is about the village. And the village, in its kind of most poetic form, is we come from a village. We are shaped by the first community that we are involved in. We are, taught so many lessons by our family and our village about who we are and what we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to act and how we're supposed to be civilized together and how we're supposed to support each other and we're how we live up to the quote rules that our little village holds. The village often is one that holds us in its power and it doesn't want to let us go. And sometimes when we leave the village, in order to fulfill something inside of ourselves that we don't feel like the village is giving to us right now, the village might be resentful in some ways that you've left the village and that you've gone off on your own to become what you need to become and to break, I think, through some of those rules and rigidities and limitations that the village has offered up as the way that they are civilized together, but you have a different idea of who you are and what you need to do and what you need to face and how you need to be in your world. So at some point then we often return to the village to look at ourselves against what we were first taught and to understand ourselves on a deeper level about what we have learned and to bring new information possibly back to the village and to also go back to the village and forgive ourselves and forgive others for what we might have confused as pain inducing moments that were really about all of us just kind of stretching ourselves and learning how to be okay in ourselves. So the village can be a lot about redemption, but also can be a lot about leaving behind restrictions and finding one's way through one's own truth of the world. So, what is your challenge? Well, it is that. It is finding the strength to stand up for yourself and to go about doing what you feel like you need to do. Maybe, this is, for me, this is a sense that you are angry because you can't possibly move into the world that you want to move into, and there's a sense of resentment toward the village and anger toward the village, and maybe there's a lashing out like the lion that's hurt. Maybe there's also a great sense of feeling like you can't leave the village, it needs you, and you have to put yourself aside and not listen to your intuition and not listen to your passion because the village needs you more and everyone else around you needs you more, and you have to negate yourself in order to be a part of this village, and that also creates a sense of anger and resentment. There's also that sense, this is your challenge, so this is the challenge card. It's like what is getting in your way of developing your own strength, developing your own intuition, taming your own overly aggressive parts and blending your analysis, your active creative outgoing force with your incoming intuitive and creative impulses that need to be there. So that's your challenge, is to blend all that together and learn how to find the strength for yourself and how to learn how to stand up when you need to stand up, and also learn how to soften yourself when the power of aggressiveness and pushing to have something happen is not in the best interests of yourself and others and the greater community. So this is a lot of questions about who you are and how you go forward. So the action that you can take, regardless of what you do, is about the armadillo, and you have to put up strong boundaries. And the armadillo, is armored. It's not going to let many things penetrate, bite it, hurt it. impede it. It's going to go where it needs to go. It's just going to put its little tank self on, and it's going. It's going to do what it feels like its destiny is. And on some level, if you leave your village, you have to put on your tank, your armor, and you have to leave behind those people who might be slinging pain and agony and fear and distrust and grief at you, because you can't let that wound you and stop you from being true to yourself. And if you stay in the village, you also can't let the village completely cow you into not looking at your worth and not being your most truest self and not being your most authentic self. So you have to put up some armor there as well. So in a lot of ways, this is about setting good boundaries, setting boundaries that you're willing to have people and things happen in a particular circle around you. You're not willing to have some other things and people happen in your particular circle, so you move them out. And there's things that you don't want to happen at all and that you're putting on the outside rim of your boundaries to say, no, I'm never going to let that happen, and that's not where I'm at, and that's not who I am, and that's not how I'm going to live. So this is all about learning how to set good boundaries and allowing yourself to become authentic along the way, because you need to be authentic. You need to have your spirit. You need to have your instincts. You need to have your intuition and your analysis, and you need to fulfill some personal spiritual mission that is calling to you, and you can't negate that, and you can't forget it, and it won't let you, and it's going to push you until you do it, and then you're either not going to do it and feel hurt and angry within yourself, or you're going to do it and need to go wherever that takes you. At some point, probably to return to the village and say, all right, I followed my dream. I am as authentic as I can be. I'm here to heal what old wounds I might have brought to me. And that is this card. Coming back with the light, coming back with the truth, coming back in one's power, coming back, not being devoured by the dragon, but letting yourself speak from the dragon's voice. The dragon is a sacred creature of connection and fire and passion and truth, and you need to honor that dragon part of yourself that has a voice, that has a passion, that has a path that it needs to follow, so it can bring out the healing light into the world once it is healed, once you are healed, and once you can release your magic out into the universe and not feel held back or frightened or pushy with it on the other side of it. It's you don't have to burn up others in your path in order to get your heart out there and your mind out there and have your will be done. That the understanding of the dragon's fire within means that it can help you with your passion and help you with your drive, but you don't need to burn everybody in the path up on the way toward getting what you want. And that's a lot of the lesson at this time. Blessed be.